Who dat to the Who Dat Nation. Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the preview of the Saints' final preseason game of the season as they square up against the Denver Broncos in the not Mercedes-Benz anymore, the Caesars Superdome this Saturday, August the 23rd at 12 noon, middle of the day on a Saturday. What a way to start the weekend, or right dead smack in the middle of the weekend, to be honest with you. This is the last game before things get real, and the Saints still have a lot of questions that need to be answered before we enter into the regular season. Who will be our starting quarterback? Who will be our third wide receiver? Who is going to fill the holes on the offensive line? Or how many people need to fill the holes on the offensive line? Defense. Will the defense up front get it together and have a stronger showing going into this preseason game? Well, going into the regular season after tomorrow's game. Well, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and we're coming off of one of the best preseason outings from the Saints, and not in a game totality. We're talking that final drive where the Saints rallied in dramatic fashion to tie the game. When they were down in the third quarter, 17-3, they rallied back to tie up the game late and got a 2-point conversion and got an interception on the last play of the game. Almost, we were literally a split second from winning, but it was still an exciting finish to, I would say, a lackluster 3 quarters of football. But there's some promise that was shown in that game. But we left the game still scratching our heads. Who's starting? You know, who is the true starter here? I had my opinions on it. I know a lot of other people had their opinions on it as well, but there isn't a clear-cut winner, for lack of a better term, in that position. You know, I think the Saints made a mistake by not bringing in a veteran quarterback. You needed a veteran. We really needed somebody who were going to lead these guys and show these guys what for. And that's not to say a veteran who's going to come in and start or whatever, but somebody who was in the room with him, somebody who was out there with him, kind of being an extension of the coach and shepherding these guys along. Now, granted, to his credit, Kellen Moore is a former NFL quarterback, so he does have that element, but he hasn't shown me he can develop a quarterback as an offensive coordinator. Let's not forget, Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator had 3 of some people's top 10 quarterbacks in the league, or top 15 quarterback. He had Dak Prescott, he had Justin Herbert, he had Jalen Hurts. And so it's not like he had a quarterback that he had to develop and shape and mold and turn him into something special. They were pretty good before he got there. He just helped them along, to put it plainly. And I'm not knocking Kellen Moore and what he did. You know, every talented player needs a coach. I don't care how much talent you have. You need coaching. You need somebody that's going to give you that push, somebody that's going to bring the best out of you as a head coach. And, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he was good. Made it to the Super Bowl without Kellen Moore, but couldn't win it. But with Kellen Moore, he won it. You know, so it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. But that's besides the point. This is where we at right now. We're here in this situation. Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haynard, which I think you can safely rule him out of the competition at this point. And, you know, love the guy. Dude looks like a genuine good dude, but he's not the starting quarterback. Nor will he ever be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints unless something catastrophic happens. And God forbid that ever does. But speaking on Kellen Moore as our new head coach, we're squaring up against our former head coach. No, not Dennis Allen. We're going up against the greatest coach in Saints history, none other than Sean Payton, returning to the Dome yet again. Let's not forget that he returned last year. I forgot what week that was, but it was a Thursday night game, and they just mopped the floor with the New Orleans Saints. 33-10 was that game. Bo Nix looked bad in that game, but he still made the Saints look worse, and it was embarrassing. It wasn't embarrassing the fact that we lost. We lost in that fashion to Sean Payton. You had to put up some type of fight against Sean Payton, man. You couldn't let Sean return home and get a victory like that on us, but we did. We managed to do that. But that's in the past, and now we are here for this Saturday's game, and it doesn't count. Really doesn't matter. Sean Payton has said that he's going to start his guys. You know, he's going to play his starters in this game, and so did Kellen Moore. We're going to get a healthy dose of our starters this game. But before we get to the game, speaking of the Saints and Denver Broncos, before they linked up on Saturday, they managed to pull off a trade the other day when the Saints agreed to acquire wide receiver Devon Valley. I believe that's how you say his last name. Pretty sure we'll get it straightened out before the regular season. But he was acquired by the Saints. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. Nice size receiver, and that's something that the Saints were lacking. That was one of my main concerns in the receiving core. Our receivers are small, you know, in comparisons to the rest of the league. And I'm saying small, and I'm 5 foot nothing, so it's kind of weird that coming out of my mouth. But our wide receivers aren't your prototypical big receivers that teams normally have. Big target out there. I don't know much about this young man other than the fact that he's a nice size wide receiver. Tried to look up some highlights of him. I saw when he was at the University of Utah. Not too many highlights from Denver, but he looks good. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think I read somewhere that he's hurt. I'm not 100% certain with that, but I think he's hurt. And I'm trying not to. I guess I'm looking, but I'm not looking hard because I don't want to upset myself. You know, that we gave up 2 draft picks for a player that's in rehab. But it's the Saints, bro. It's Mickey Loomis. What can you say? But in any event, he's here. Welcome to the Who Dat Nation, Devon. I hope that he contributes to this team in a major way. Another target, another weapon that we can use to build this franchise for the future. But before we wander off into Wonderland, we got to get past Sunday's game. And Sunday's game, or Saturday, I keep saying Sunday, I guess because normal, we would play on a Sunday. But Saturday's game would not be a typical preseason game or final preseason game for the New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore said Thursday that most of the starters will play, and that includes players we haven't seen this preseason. He said that Alvin Kamara, Eric McCoy, Juwan Johnson, Devon Gottrell, Chase Young, Cam Jordan, Carl Granderson, Demario Davis, Pete Warner, they're going to play. So we're going to, in the first quarter at least. And so it's going to be a real live game in that first quarter. So it's going to be interesting and scary at the same time because, of course, you don't want nobody to get hurt. But if they get hurt, they can get hurt in the first regular season game of the year. It doesn't matter. You can only wrap these players in bubble wrap so long before you break the seal and have to put them on the field. Hopefully, prayerfully, nothing catastrophic happens to these guys as they get their first real game action of the preseason in the final preseason game. The starting quarterback for this game will be Spencer Rattler. He gets the start, and he will have the ones. He will have the number one team out there on the field with him. That's pretty much telling me where they're leaning as far as who the starter will be going into this season. Let's hope that it pans out. Either way, I've been accused of just being a Rattler super fan or whatever. That ain't the case. I could care either way. I just want the best guy to win, and from what my eyes are telling me, judging by some of the practices I saw in these two preseason games that we've had previously, Spencer Rattler looked like the better quarterback. Not by much, going by the games, not by much, but he looks better. And getting into heated debates, and I'm going on this little tangent real quick because I find it funny now. Going into these heated debates on who the quarterback should be and people getting upset. Oh, it should be Shuck. No, it should be Rattler. And then you have the one way in the back. Oh, I think it's Haynard. It's crazy to me because think of the choices you have here. The choices you basically have here is, do you want to be shot or do you want to be stabbed? Either way is going to be a fatal wound. Neither one of these quarterbacks are going to move mountains. Neither one of these quarterbacks are going to usher us into the playoffs. Couldn't it happen? Sure, it could happen. Anything's possible in NFL. Anything. But just doing the eyeball test here, neither one of these guys are going to usher us into a division title, a playoff appearance, and God forbid, a Super Bowl. Let's be realistic. And so we just want somebody that's going to go out there and give us the best competitive chance, to give us the biggest fight that we can give to our opponent on Sundays. But my eyeballs will be focused on the offensive line. That is the biggest glaring problem that the Saints have as a team. I would honestly consider the Saints as a dark horse division contender if it wasn't for that offensive line. Because everything else, talent-wise, skill sets wise, is great. You have some really, really good players on the field. In every position. Running back, you have Alvin Kamara. Wide receivers, you have Chris Olave. You have Shadeed there, You have Brandon Cooks, even though with the addition of this new wide receiver, I think Brandon Cooks probably going to be the odd man out because I honestly doubt that they're going to get rid of Mason Tifton. The Mason Tifton has proven he deserves to be on this team. Dante Pennis, maybe he's on the bubble. I don't know, but I don't see him keeping 6 wide receivers. I just don't see it. Will they? It probably could, but you need depth on your O-line. You need depth on your D-line. So it's going to take up a majority of your 53 in those areas. So I don't know how they're going to play that out. We're just going to have to wait and see. But my eyeballs are fixated on the offensive line. I want to see if they can get it together in time for the regular season. We only have 2 weeks left, but we shall see. We'll see. And Eric McCoy being there as an anchor. Eric McCoy is arguably our best offensive lineman. He's the center. He's the signal caller. He's the one that calls the protections. He's the one that protects the middle, right in front of the quarterback. He's the guy. And so with him out there, let's see if this offensive line plays better than they have the previous 2 games. After that, after the first quarter or the first series, however long they're going to be in a game, I guess it goes how that first series go, how that first drive plays out. If it's 3 and out, you can pretty much assure that they'll be back on the field. But if you get a sustained drive, even if it ends in a field goal, a nice, 12 to 15 play drive, that'll probably put a bow on the starters this Saturday. But because there's really no need to have them out there. There's no reason to have those guys out there because you still got to evaluate the rest of this team. You still have cuts to make going forward. Running back, you have a plethora of running backs that you have to sift through. You have to go through Kendrick Miller, Cam Akers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what's his name, Jones Jr. You have him. Am I missing one? I think there's another one. I could be missing one, but there's some running back competition as well. Who's going to back up Alvin Kamara? You also have competition on the D line. Isaac Forsky. This is it, man. This is do or die tomorrow. This is it. It is no. Personally, I'll cut bait with him now. Actually, I would have been cut bait with him, but this is truly his last stand. He has to do something. If not, I don't see him being on his team when the Saints make their final 53-man cut. And so, all eyes on him there. I would assume he'll be coming in the second quarter. Doubt if he's with the starters. Actually, I know for a fact he's not going to be with the starters. But also, wide receiver, I mentioned earlier. We have all of these wide receivers. You have Cedric Wilson Jr. You have Kevin Austin Jr., Dante Pennis, like I said. What's his name? Mooch Dixon. He's on his team. It is a lot that you have to sift through here. And so, it's still a big game. This is an important game. The rookie running back, that's who I couldn't think of, but he's hurt. He's hampered. He has that hamstring. So, he's another running back that we have. So, there's still a lot in play this Saturday and a lot to look forward to in this game. This is probably going to be as close to a regular season game we're getting until the actual regular season fires up in 2 weeks. And so I am all in on this, truly invested. At first, when I heard the news that the starters were playing, still got to figure out the quarterback position. I was like, really? If you don't know by now, you'll never know. That's how I was feeling. But I think they want to reassure themselves, because let's not forget here. We're talking about a second-round pick, high second-round pick that you gave fully guaranteed money to. And you really wanted to start him. The Saints really wanted him to be the starter. But unfortunately, he's not ready. Not just yet, in my humble opinion. And so it's a hard pill to swallow to have him sit. But to be honest, I don't think he's going to sit the whole season. I think Spencer Rattler will start maybe the first 2-3 games, maybe going into the 5th week. And then we're going to see the emergence of Tyler Shuck. And by the end, maybe he'll come around. Maybe he'll be the player that they were hoping him to be. He is the future, whether you like him or not. He's the future of the New Orleans Saints as far as our quarterback, our franchise guy, the team, the player that they're going to build the team around. And so just deal with it, man. Just deal with it. But for right now, I think this is the best opportunity to unleash Spencer Rattler. Let him do what he do, see what he does these first few weeks. If it works out, good. If it doesn't, hey, no harm, no foul. You just put in Tyler Shuck, and we'll go from there. Because this is a dead season anyway. If you let the prognosticators talk about it, the ESPN analysts and all them talk about it, we're barely going to win a game this season. So we're playing with house money. We're all right. But we'll go further into that next week when we do the full season preview. But for right now, the Saints will take on the Denver Broncos this Saturday in the Caesars Superdome, 12 noon. I'm hyped up, man. I had some plans this Saturday, and thankfully, well, I ain't gonna say thankfully because I really wanted to do the stuff that I was planning to do, but fate have it, it cleared up. I don't have to do it this Saturday, so I'm free and clear at 12 noon to watch the Saints take on the Broncos. Man, it's almost here, man. Can't you smell it? Real football is almost here. Oh man, I can't contain myself. This is going to be good. I, it feels so good not to have any pressure on the New Orleans Saints. That's one of the great things about everybody looking at the Saints as being a dumpster fire. Probably going to win 3 games, 4 if they're lucky this season. So the expectations are super low. And so you don't have to put that pressure on this team. And it feels good not having to put that pressure. Oh, we got to beat Atlanta. Oh, we got to beat Tampa. Oh, man, if we can be a certain record by the bye week, we got a clear path to take the division. Look, this is a season that I can't speak for all of you. I'm just going to sit back and watch. That's it. I'm not going to put no expectation on this team. But that's just my humble opinion. I want to know, Who Dat Nation, are you excited for this final preseason game? You ready for the regular season? Are you excited to see Sean Payton coming back, man? I mean, everybody loves Sean. Sean never did us wrong. I think Sean just got tired of Mickey Loomis' foolishness. That's why he left. But anyways, what are your thoughts? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who Dat Said podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this preview of the Saints' final preseason game as they take on the Denver Broncos this Saturday, 12 noon. Until then, I'm going to be screaming to the top of my lungs, Who Dat?